welcome to another episode of our Inner Sparks featured stories. I am Lily Yan, your host of this podcast and founder of our Inner Sparks Network, a network of ordinary women sharing our extraordinary stories. We all have so many inspiring women around us in our lives. We need to acknowledge and celebrate each of these women's successes. Let's do that together. Let's use these opportunities as ways to inspire and empower each other and others. Join me to discover, embody, and share our inner sparks. I often get the question, why started our Inner Sparks? After a full year of celebrating women's success in our communities, I have decided to finally tell my story. And today we've invited Julie De Silva, our very first podcast guest, back on the show. And this time, she is in the interviewer seat. Julie is going to help me share my story of tears, laughters, and joy on the journey of our inner sparks.
Good morning.
Hi.
I'm extremely grateful to be back on your network, our Inner Sparks, for your 1-year anniversary. Seems like just yesterday when we met for our first release.
I know.
Which I had the honor of being your first guest.
Super amazing.
Privileged. So thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of sharing your story, Lily. It seems only appropriate that we feature the founder of the network, which celebrates and empowers ordinary women by sharing their extraordinary stories with others on the 1-year anniversary. So, Lily, tell us, who is Lily and what is our Inner Sparks?
Oh, thank you, Julie. I'm so glad you're back, and it's appropriate as well to have our first ever guest come back and be on a different seat you're now interviewing.
Yay!
So, yay, congratulations.
Something different for me again, but thank you for including me.
Yeah, I love that. I love having you back. So who is Lily? Well, I am a mother of 2 teenagers. I'm a professional with 20 years of corporate leadership experience in change and transformation management, as well as continuous improvement. I spend a great deal of time also in people leadership and development. I'm a socially conscious mentor, now also an entrepreneur since last year. That's new for me. But I'm a person with very diverse interests in music, in sports, in crafting. So with that said, having or bringing out my passion is a gift in itself, right? So I'm also very passionate about helping others realize their fullest potential, whether it's at a business setting or organizational setting or as an individual. So I am really enjoying my whole new experience as a business owner. Yeah, this is pretty much who I am.
So tell us, why did you leave a 20-year high-paying corporate career to start our Inner Sparks?
Oh, great question. Yeah, a lot of people ask me that. I was very fortunate. I had been developed over the years professionally by all the companies that I've worked with. So I was very gifted with people who really cared and invested in me. I'm very grateful for those 20 years being in the corporate, learning as much as I had. But I always had that inner nag, that inner voice that tells me, Lily, you need to do more. Because I think when I speak to people, people always tell me, Lily, when you're talking about something passionate, your whole body changes. We can see that spark in you, in your eyes. And
amazing.
Right? So, and I'm happiest when I'm doing things I am passionate about. And I'm passionate about helping people, and whether it's in a setting of business, solving business problem, helping them transform processes and strategies to produce better business results, or at a personal level when I'm leading people to inspire them and support them through their development journey. Those are things that I'm really, enjoying doing. And there's a whole lot of other things about business and corporation I don't enjoy doing. so I asked myself, why am I not really spending more time on doing things that I do enjoy doing, like developing others and helping others transform? So,
for sure.
And one day, and it's because of you, greatly, I think you contributed to that greatly, because you gave me an opportunity when I came into your yoga class to do that reflection in those quiet moments at the end of our sessions when we actually slow down, and meditate. It's a guided meditation, and very often you ask very inquisitive questions. And it was moments like that that asked my or gave me the opportunity to reflect and to really think and listen to my inner voice and that inner nag that I really should be doing more. And
Yes, those
you
moments
know,
of silence.
yes, that silence. And honestly, your sessions always help me in that way. It's bringing my body down to the calm state that I can start hearing the inside, right? And I felt that, there was sessions where I start to ask myself, why am I not, impacting the community more with what I know, with what I have, the skills I have. Like I said, I was very fortunate. I was developed in a certain way to lead the lead people through transformation and development. And I was very fortunate. Not everybody is like that. Not everybody has opportunities. So why am I not giving what I know now to the people who need it as well? Right. So it's
Oh, so inspiring, Lily. So
thank you.
inspiring.
Thank you.
I also noticed I think you've released about 12 features. Is that correct? About
Well,
12?
as we're recording right now, where I'm releasing one today, that's episode 18. So this one will be
18.
episode
Wow.
19.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yes.
So even more than one a month.
Yes. Yes.
And none of your topics have ever been repeated.
No, not at all. So yeah,
No, that's amazing.
that's actually one of the things I thought about doing, is cover the story from the angle that women are contributing and adding value in every part of our society. And I want to feature that in a way so that it's a settled thing. Like, I didn't call it out at the beginning. I called out that we want to celebrate women in our communities
Right.
doing great things. But I never said that I'm going to, showcase different people in the different parts of our society, because I want to kind of naturally do that and progress in that and see, it's almost like an investigative work to see that it is actually happening. And look at how successful we are, and we're able to contribute in so many ways. And it's very inspiring to see. I've had the honor to really speak to many amazing women who are doing extraordinary things in the community they're involved in, and adding and contributing in ways that are so empowering, not just for themselves, but also empowering others in the community. So, and it's just great honor to be even speaking to them and showcasing and celebrating with them on this show.
That's amazing. I was going to ask you what your vision was for the podcast and the social programs, but I think you pretty much covered that, unless you want to add a little bit more.
I can add a little bit more. I mean,
Yes, please.
In terms of the podcast itself, it's so funny because podcast was the first thing I wanted to do. It was my first goal. So right off the bat, when I quit my job last year in October, I thought to myself, okay, well, what is something that I can accomplish in 30 days? So I said, I'm going to establish and start releasing podcasts in 30 days. So yeah, and that was a goal that I wanted to do. And the idea is really to showcase women in our community. And the first theme that I picked was celebration of women's success. And this is why, a lot of the discussions were with people who have done a lot of work in their communities. But a lot of people that I spoke to, and this is why I want to talk about it, is what people don't realize is a lot of people who I've interviewed did not see what they do in the community as
I certainly didn't.
Right?
Yeah, I was very honored when you referred to me as a life coach. I didn't realize how impactful, and you brought that out for me. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And same thing with many other guests that I spoke to. They didn't see themselves as more than what they were already offering. And I think part of the show is really helping them celebrate their own success and recognize their own success. And I think we've accomplished that as well. And there's a lot of stories in here that people who believe that they were just housewives and just doing something on the side. But I'm like, no, you're doing so much more, and you're not recognizing that yourself. And so by featuring it and giving them that space and time to really speak out from their inner self. And again, and I saw that time after time when they were speaking of their story, when I first did this, we could do it in person still, but now we're all doing it online. But
I know.
In person.
That makes me a little bit uncomfortable as well. So again, thank you for making me step out of my comfort zone.
Oh, I appreciate you doing this for me as well. And it's just amazing
Such an
that,
honor, Lily.
yeah.
Such an honor. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. And I appreciate, that it's fearful, right? Like doing something you've never done before. And some of these women, like, I've never told anyone my story before. But coming out of that shell and really telling the story, starting to help them to own their inner self as well. So I think that is a part of my vision, is really, and it's not just about the women that I feature, but also giving something to others, almost a structure in which that they can talk about and share their stories and bring their inner selves out as well.
Right. Well, and in being uncomfortable and trying new things and having women to support and empower, this has been a really unsettling year for a lot of us. And then you go and start a new business. So I'm sure you've had some pretty big challenges with COVID. So tell me, how did COVID change your plans, and what have you learned from that?
Yes. So COVID has been super interesting. But I think it really showcased what I actually am trained for, am doing, in terms of helping others transform, right? So
Right.
COVID really put a knot in a lot of people's plan, because it's like, well, when I first started, like I said, I had goals set, right? As I started my business,
Right.
30 days I want to do this, 60 days I want to do this, and 90 days I don't want to do this. And some of the things I want to do were very much in person. I couldn't do this now because of COVID, right? And I had some cancellations on contracts that were negotiated, or even
Right.
delay, and we have no idea when it's going to restart. That's very unfortunate, and I'm sure a lot of people have gone through that. But I think what the biggest thing I learned is really being flexible. And I guess I have the benefit in two ways. One, it is it's a new business. So I actually could be very flexible at this point. I define what I want to be, right?
Right.
And so I think it's easier than a lot of established businesses. But even for established businesses, I've spoke to some clients, is really looking at how do you become relevant in today's time, and how do you
Right.
reframe it, right? Reframe what you do, what you're best at, in a different way, in light, so that it's relevant in today's space. So that's what I had to do. I had to really evolve to think about what can I actually do today. One of the things we started was then to do some social work. Our Inner Sparks is a social enterprise, not just a business. But
Right.
socially, what we're doing now is actually partnering with our local library, Idea Exchange, and we are putting out seminars and workshops and panel discussions to help others address the COVID concerns. And we've done topics on mindset, lifestyles, leadership, also creativity, and one coming up in November on the 17th for stress management. These are very critical things for people right now during
Oh,
COVID,
yes, absolutely.
right? So it's about, I had different vision before for what we would do socially, but now this is the right time to do these kind of things because it's really needed, right? So it's pivoting, reframing, being flexible in what we do, and offering still the value that we offer.
Yeah, I think if ever now more than ever, we really need this coming together and offering support. And because I know it's been a scary time for a lot of people, even myself, not having the regular contact or the classes, because as I
Yep.
said in my podcast, my students fill my cup as much as I fill theirs. So having to sit and remember that you have to fill your own cup all the time during the pandemic, when we can't be out socializing or hugging's been a big thing for me. So coming
Yes.
together like this, and having other people support and having people to talk to is very, very amazing. So thank you for doing that.
Absolutely. And I do believe in building that support system. And I think we're so used to having that support system in person, the physical way, as we are now in COVID, starting to learn that the virtual one are just as powerful. It is very difficult for some to get used to this, but I think having that even virtual support system is so important. Surround yourself with like-minded people who carry light and positivity. Changes everything. It's a game changer.
Yes, I believe everything happens in the right in divine timing, and I'm trying to find the positive things out of COVID, and I think that your program has again brought people together virtually. Which again, I'm not very comfortable virtually. I'm a people
Yeah.
person, so you've helped me get a lot more comfortable virtually, and I really appreciate that, and I'm sure all the other women do too.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah,
That's so
so.
kind. Thank you.
And there's something else that I wanted to bring up, because not only COVID, but if you don't mind sharing your story about your hearing loss.
Oh,
Um,
yes.
that started right after you started the program. So not only did you have COVID, but then you started to lose your hearing. I think it was in December, just after the first episode.
Yeah, actually it was. So so last October I jumped into the deep end and decided to have that
Wow.
whole change. And I think what happened was I was so focused on what I wanted to do and what I believe this can be, that I started to and I think most entrepreneurs do this. You dive fully in, you're working 24/7, and you're forgetting about everything else, about your health, about your
Yeah.
own time, and respecting your own care. What happened was October happened. I worked so hard, and then December hit. And but this is not just from October, because I mean I had a couple of years of really stressful life, both from
Right.
from all directions in my life. So and then October hit. I made a major change, and I started doing wholeheartedly and diving into my business. And then December came, and I had severe hearing loss on my right. And I believe when I first saw you after that, I could not stop crying. It was just the
Right.
most devastating thing for me.
And ironically, like, you're starting this podcast, which is all listening,
Yeah.
and you're losing your hearing.
I was very lucky. My healthcare team actually helped me even during the Christmas break, because it was very crucial for people who have sudden hearing loss to get treatment immediately, or
Right.
else it could be a permanent damage. And luckily, I actually recovered a lot of my hearing. I still have
Caught
some
it. Good.
loss. Yeah, I still have some loss, but it's not impacting my life, which is I'm very thankful for the whole team that actually helped me recover. But at the same time, the treatment that they gave me, unfortunately, also had very bad adverse reaction for me, and it put me out for 2 months, because my body was having a hard time having the drug introduced to my system, but then having this drug taken out of my system. And I was 2 months pretty much in bed. I was dizzy, I was unable to function, I couldn't focus, I had brain fog, I could not even carry out a conversation like this. I couldn't have it. It was actually really scary, because you're like, is this ever going to go away, or am I going to feel like this for the rest of my life?
Right.
And was very dark times in my life. And I remember just being, stuck in my dark times. But I think it also, I felt it's in a way my body's way of retaliating of
Right.
abuse that I've given it. And
Right.
and so, because till today, my doctors still could not figure out what's wrong with me and what caused it. But one thing for me was certain. I was during that time reading up a lot of my journals leading up to that December time when I lost the hearing. And then
Hmm.
I was reading, how I was describing my days and how exhausted I was, and how much I needed a break, and I wanted a break, but I wasn't giving myself a break. So, it's a lot of self-realization, I think, during that period of time, reading through those journals, and ask myself, wow, this is what I didn't do for myself, the self-care, the balancing life that I needed,
Sure.
and didn't even listen to myself. When I was crying for help, I didn't even listen to myself. So,
Your body will definitely 100% react physically if you do not take care of the emotional state. I 1000% believe that. I've seen
right?
it.
I'm a living
Yes,
proof
the
that
ailments will come
happened,
out physically. Yes.
right?
Yes. When
So,
you need rest, your body will make sure that you get that rest. However, it needs to show you, you will come down and you will rest. Yes.
exactly. It's like you don't want to take a rest, but we will make sure, well, I will make sure you take a rest. So it's pretty much how I felt, is that it was my body's way of reacting to all the stress and all of the baggage that I've been carrying, and said that enough is enough. You're
So
you're
that's
done
2 months
2 months.
after Christmas and then COVID.
Yes. So I
So
pretty much.
share with us, Lily, what helped you get through some of your darkest times?
Oh
What
my
keeps
God.
you going?
Yeah, you know what? It has been really, this has not been an easy journey, right? And to say the least. But I think the passion and the purpose that I have is really the driver for me. To think that even with, okay, not only COVID, but also my health issues
Right.
and a short period
Double
of time,
whammy.
right? And limited resource, canceled contracts that were going to help me build out the programs, more social programs. All of those things were challenges, but regardless of that, we've accomplished so much in such a short period of time. It is so rewarding, to see. But I think my experience in transformation really also helped me in this, because I know based on my own profession and development, I know, and the skills that I have, I know that this is a, these are major transformations, but this is a life cycle. Like change and transformation have life cycles of itself. And you need to kind of write out those progression of changes. And I have the know-how and the techniques to do so. So I
You
literally just,
certainly do.
right? So I kicked
You
in.
certainly do, lady. You certainly do.
So I kicked in my natural mode using the things that I know best, and then just put out plans and continue to act on it and monitor how it's doing for the results and adjust and be flexible as we go. And so ultimately it's a journey of ups and downs, and we have to accept that it's continuous in life. So,
Oh, yes.
right?
Yin and yang. Yep. For every positive, there's a negative. And it's true.
Right?
It's true.
And
And it's
regardless
sometimes in
of
our
the
darkest
time,
moments that we
right?
find the light, the shiny, the brightest.
Right. So you will have the downs. Like, I mean, like I said, the 2 months when I was bedridden, it was low. It was the lowest that I felt in my life. I could say that. Because,
Right.
like I said, I wasn't sure if I was going to get better. I didn't know if I can be normal again. I didn't know my hearing would even recover. I still have a little bit of deficiencies, but unless I'm going to be a professional musician, it's not going to interfere with my real life, right? So, but at the same, you know,
Yeah.
at the same time, I am a avid musician myself. So losing that ability to hear yourself play the piano or sing perfectly was very hurtful at the beginning. It was very impactful. But then,
Mhm.
I look at the overall of my life, quality of my life. I'm so thankful I didn't lose something more. I'm so thankful that this lesson that I was learning did not have longer term impact.
Right.
I'm so thankful that it gave me the time to reset, rethink, rebalance, and look at what is most important in my life,
I
right?
love that you're looking for all the things to be grateful for, because I always say there is something to be grateful for, even in the darkest times.
Oh, absolutely.
And gratitude has got me out of a lot of dark times.
Exactly. And I'm
Yeah.
so grateful for the people that I actually started corralling around me on the networks, our Inner Sparks
Your
network.
soul tribe.
I am right, and because
Yeah.
in my darkest time, when I was like, the only thing I could do is being on social media and look at those posts. When I was low, I was posting very little, but I was looking at a lot of other people's posting, and a lot of what I posted was even for myself, right? To
Right.
lift myself up, and then see others also then the feedback that they had, the posting that they had. That's what lifted me out of my darkness, because I know this is just a low. This is, and there's so much greatness out there. There's so much positivity out there. And I want to be a
There
part of
is.
that. Right.
Amen.
Yeah. And it's
Yes.
just amazing. Like that's why I'm saying it's so critical, this fabric of support network, and to build that around yourself, because when you're low, someone else is picking you up. And same thing, as
Yes.
you're putting out the light and the positivity, you may not know it even, but you are lifting others. Right? Sometimes you don't even know that. Like nobody knew I had hearing
No,
loss,
it's true. Right.
right? And
No.
I was
And we are
suffering.
so grateful to you for bringing all of us
Oh,
together. It's
thank
great to know that you have a support system, and that just everybody has their own struggles, right? We all think, you look at someone else and you think, oh, they're so happy or they're so lucky. And we all are lucky, and we all have many blessings, and we just need to take the time to appreciate them to help us out of our dark times.
Absolutely. And I'm grateful for you because I think, I miss it now going to your yoga classes.
I
Um,
miss
right?
teaching
But
large classes.
and your classes that's what they were for me in the 2 years that I had a lot of struggles in other parts of life. I come to, your class and I feel calm and I feel that sense of gratitude and the togetherness as well. That whole support system. It really, you feel the energy from everyone who are just being thankful for being there and being thankful for you sharing your skills and sharing your thoughts and sharing the yoga stretches and sharing all your know-how in your profession with everyone else.
Thank you. So, Lily, why don't you share with us what's your biggest tip for anyone trying to reach their dreams?
I think a lot of people, as we are growing up, we're much more in tune with our own happiness, what makes us happy, and what we want to chase after as the passion in our life.
Right.
But I guess over time, right, we gain so much responsibility, especially as women, as we have families. We become everything to everyone else first. And we start to neglect our own desires, passion, or even our inner voice. And we become dormant to who we really are and our own needs. And our inner self like kind of sleeps, right? And I feel that, even for me, like I didn't know that. For so long, I was just a mother, just a wife, just a manager, a team lead, right? And those are the roles I was fulfilling. And that was my
Right.
identity. That's it. But really, I'm more than that. I'm a lot more than that,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
So we all are. And we tell ourselves, oh, yeah, well, for these things I like to do, but maybe I'll do it next year. Maybe do it one day. But guess what? One day will never come until you
Yeah.
consciously invite it in your life. So my tip is, whatever it is that you want to do in your life, do it now.
Right.
Start
Make
now.
one day one today.
That's right. One day
Yes.
is day one today. And
Yes.
you
Yes.
are, you can realize your dreams today. You can still, do it as small steps. It doesn't have to be a ginormous step like I took. Not everybody's into that, and that's okay. But it's the first step to really start fostering and caring for your inner self. Being courageous enough to say, I want to be who I am, and I'm going to seek to do all the things to fulfill that. And be present and authentic in yourself, right? And that journey is in itself, you know, it's going to be a long time. I think a lot of people are, will say, well, yeah, I'm not doing it because it sounds so complicated. It's too long and too, but you know what? Put all those away, tuck them away. Start now. There's never a perfect time. Take small steps, discover what you want, discover who you are, discover what you want to be, and do you, allowing yourself to be present. And even when you don't know how or where and how you're going to make it happen, it will come to you. And if you really
Right.
don't know, call on our inner sparks. We'll help you.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. Now you say a long journey, but I think it's an everlasting being your authentic self and learning. I forever look at myself as a student, not just a teacher. I mean, I know I am a teacher to many, but I'm still a student.
Mm-hmm. It's a continuous journey. It really is. I think self-actualization is a continuous thing because, again, it's the world's changing. We're changing. That's ever changing. So therefore,
Continually evolving. Yeah.
exactly. So therefore, our development, actualization, and realization should be evolving as well over time. Yeah.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next for you and our inner sparks?
Oh, so exciting. There's so many things that's happening. I mean, obviously with COVID, hopefully one day being over, there's some of the things that I originally wanted. I want to bring out some of the events that I want to, so I would like to do more events, but more in person. And then of course, with that aside, there's a lot of corporate services that I'd like to tap into, but not as much to solve business transformation issues, but to help organization to enable their employees to do personal growth and transformation as well. So that's to
Right.
address them in a different way in terms of business. And then some subscription type of offerings, hopefully at the consumer level, that will give you modular type of self-guided courses or material. But lots of services and products in mind, possibilities endless.
Right. That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
So, in conclusion, you always ask everyone at the end of each segment,
Yes.
in search of true fulfillment, how do you define success? And do you feel accomplished and successful?
Yeah. So good question. I actually, I know this was coming because I asked everybody else
Right?
that.
I
So I was
had to
thinking to
ask you. You
myself,
knew I had to ask you.
right? So I was thinking to myself, what actually makes me feel successful? And I admire every woman who's like answered it on the spot because they're like really great at identifying that. And actually, to be honest, it was a hard question for me to answer. What truly defines a success to me? But ultimately, I think I came to that being happy with what you're doing and have in life is what makes me feel successful. And I think in a context a little different than how a lot of people might interpret it, because people might think, well, yeah, you should tell yourself that you're happy, you're grateful for everything you have. But I think it's not just to convince yourself that you're happy, but to truly ignite and harvest your inner sparks would mean that you're igniting the happiness and radiating that happiness inside out so that you're truly happy from inside out, right? It's not just you're convincing yourself to be happy with what you have and who you are and what you're doing, but by doing the things to ignite and harvest your inner sparks, you are creating that happiness and radiating it from inside.
So, Lily, that leads me to my next
Yeah.
question. What makes you happy in life? And do
Mhm.
you feel that you have found happiness?
So answer the second part. Yes, I found it.
Okay.
I feel like
And
in the
what makes
past,
you happy?
yeah, I feel like in the past year, what I've really done is become more present with myself, my authentic self every day. That's what makes me happy.
That's a
And
gift, being present.
right?
Yes.
And knowing who I am and what I really can offer and what my passions are, and being with my family in my authentic self, and being brave enough to seek and ask for what I want in life is being authentic and present for myself. And I feel like this is almost the first time, the last year is the first time I've been doing that for myself. And I'm also not just doing it for myself, but I'm teaching others to do it. That's what makes me happy.
Amen. So, Lily, what is one thing that everyone should take away from your story that would ignite or harvest our inner sparks?
Oh, I'm going to go back to our tagline at the beginning, discover, embody, and share our inner sparks. Discover in a way that you're knowing your worth, you understand your passion. Embody means doing something about it, setting some goals, put in the hard work, be present, be authentic, and then share it, celebrate with others, have that support system there, that celebrates with you and supports you through it. And I think that's what the essence of our inner sparks really is.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think one of the hardest things for a lot of women is knowing our worth.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate you helping us find that. Yeah, you're an amazing, amazing, inspiring woman. And I'm really grateful to be a part of this. Thank you so much, Lily.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, like I said, our inner sparks is establishing not only a network, but then having the business to help people develop and transform, and then offering the services and products alongside, help them make meaningful and sustainable changes and meet their fullest potential. That's the most rewarding thing for me, like seeing that, and then having that social part, not just the business but also social part, dedicating a part of our profit to help people who are in need, like women in need who are marginalized with poverty or disability. It's just, that's amazing. It's so, to me, this has been a win-win situation. No matter what I do, I am helping as many people as I possibly can in the community. And I'm so thankful for our audience, so thankful for those who are in the network, and the partners that we build with the coaches and the professionals that we tap into, our customers who are like literally, they don't even know how much they're supporting the people in the community, right? And
Right.
our sponsor, Emmy Lentino, I want to give out a special thanks. Right at the beginning of when we first started, she saw something in us and she's helping us, and she's herself an indie musician and artist, and who's just starting off as well, but she saw something in us and sponsored us. So that's helped a long way in a lot of our social programs. So we're very thankful for all of that. And I do hope and everyone sees the value and enjoys the offerings that we have as our Inner Sparks, and will continue to support and help spread the word, because ultimately we're stronger together.
Amen. Yes. Well, thank you, Lily, for sharing your story and for including me.
Oh, thank you so much, Julie. I want to thank you, a special thank you to you for being here all along, right from the beginning of the journey, being our first guest, and now also helping to feature this story, our Inner Sparks and my story. So I'm so grateful for you, for being in my life, for bringing light into my life, and being, a really great support and a friend in my life as well. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
If you enjoy our Inner Sparks contents, I encourage you to subscribe and follow and share with your friends and family. Your thoughts on this episode is encouraged on all our social media sites, which are listed in the podcast description. If you have any feedback on this podcast, the social media sites, and this network as a whole, please feel free to email me at ourinnersparks@gmail.com. Should you or someone in your life have an inspiring story you would like to see shared in our network, please feel free to email me with a nomination for future features. Thank you for listening to this episode of Our Inner Sparks Featured Stories.